Hi there people, how's it going? This is across the Rubicon and I've just walked up Mount Ninderry on the Sunshine Coast in Queensland, Australia. I'll just show you around here, just walking down this very rugged path. Those rocks just waiting for me to fall. I'll try not to, especially on camera. I was just looking over on the eastern viewing deck, looking towards the Pacific Ocean and overlooking the Mount Coolum and Coolum town beneath it, and over the other side of the hill is Coolum Beach. Beautiful, absolutely beautiful. The scenery here is just stunning. I'm looking at the Maroochydore River, Maroochydore, town of Maroochydore in the distance, and the Glasshouse Mountains in the far distance to the south. Just stunning, absolutely stunning. Glasshouse Mountains, that's where Australia Zoo is, apparently. And Australia Zoo, for them who remember, the late, great, in my opinion, Steve Irwin, who did so much for natural history in Australia and indeed the world. And yeah, he was taken out, I think it was a stingray, wasn't it? It's a funny thing. I'm just having a walk and talk in the woods, or the forest, whatever you call it here, in the bush. It's a funny thing. I remember exactly where I was when I heard that Steve Irwin had been killed. Isn't that weird? Steve Irwin. I remember exactly where I was when Princess Diana was killed in an accident or otherwise in Paris. And I remember exactly where I was when the Twin Towers, 9/11, New York Trade Center. I remember exactly where I was. But Steve Irwin was, you know, obviously made an impact on me. Strange, isn't it? Strange what you remember and what impacts on you. I'll tell you what, this is winter in Queensland, and I'm walking around like this, pair of shorts, t-shirt, obviously my sunnies. It's like a New Zealand summer. It's just beautiful. It gets cold at night though. Yeah, yesterday I went to that Mary Cairncroft tropical forest, I think it was. That was just like something that was beautiful. It really was. I'd love to go in there in the summer. I'd love to be in here in the summer because it's really hot in Queensland and humid in the summer. I've never experienced it in the summer, but I'd like to. But this temperature right now, for me anyway, is just perfect. I've got to watch where I'm walking here. As you can see, I'm sure there's been a few falls here. But I thought, you know, make a video walking through here, show you a bit of the bush, the Australian bush. Apparently there's koalas in here. I haven't seen one yet. I expect to see much more in the summer months because apparently snakes aren't really that active this time of the year. And I'd like to see a snake, but above that I'd like to see a funnel web spider. Not wake up with one in my face, but just like to see one and, you know, film it. That'd be nice. And a croc. But you don't get crocs down here, apparently. I think they start, well, normally, rule of thumb, crocs start about Rockhampton upwards. So I've been told. You don't get them this far down. Too cold. Too cool for them. So yeah, so that's a saving grace, I expect. Well, I'm walking down. I'm not meeting anyone, which is good. Especially when I'm filming, talking to myself like a madman. But Australia's lovely, so lovely. Well, Queensland is. I'm sure there's many other parts of Australia that are beautiful. New Zealand's beautiful. But you know, Australia's just different. Both different, both got their beauty. But Australia's, well, I think I said the other day on video, Queensland itself is 7.5 times the size of New Zealand. And New Zealand is somewhere between 10 and 15% bigger than the UK. So Queensland is pretty big. And that's just one of the states in Australia. I think WA is the biggest, Western Australia. You could nearly fit India, nearly, in Western Australia. I think India's got a slightly bigger population though. Someone can correct me on that maybe. Joking, obviously. Apparently India is about to take over China, I think this month sometime, as the world's largest country by population this month. So if anyone ever asks you sometime during the middle of this month or next month or forevermore, what's the biggest country by population? It's not China anymore. It's going to be India. I just thought I'd put that in there, because after all, this is just a chat, isn't it? I hope you're liking this though. Isn't it beautiful? And these selfie sticks, just brilliant, aren't they? Just show you around like that, isn't it just gorgeous? I love it. I love nature. I love to see little bugs and creepy crawlies. Not to stamp on them, just to watch them. Pure curiosity. I like to see animals in there, in the natural state, walking around doing what they do, not a care in the world, unless they're looking for other animals to eat them. This rock here, look at all this rock. I'm guessing all this volcanic rock, obviously this has been placed here, but it's all locally pulled out the hill. But I would guess it's very, 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 very old. Much older than New Zealand, because New Zealand is still being pushed out of the ground. Hence your earthquakes and volcanoes. So you'd have to, correct me if I'm wrong again, but you'd have to assume that New Zealand is a new country. Much like Iceland and Japan. When I say new country, it's probably a few million years. But compared to Australia, it's new, because Australia is probably much older. Australia probably had large mountains once. Actually, around here, in Queensland, here where I am now, the Glasshouse Mountains, for instance, they've got like these, it's like flat plain, basically. And these mountains just stick out of the ground. Glasshouse Mountains, and there's plenty of them around here. Mount Coolum, Mount Ninderry, where I am here. even. And apparently they were volcanoes being pushed out of the ground, and the magma in the chamber has basically solidified, as it does, rock, basalt, granite, and all the outside rock, softer rock, has worn away, and what's left worn away into the landscape, and what's left is what was the magma chamber, which gives us this, what I'm walking on, and all other little mountains that just seem to stick out the plain here into the far distance, especially the glass house mountains. I'm sure someone will correct me on that, but this is what I've read a while back. I might have got it wrong, but anyway. But it is interesting. The time is now, what time is it? 20 past 3. Still pretty warm in that sunshine, but as soon as you hit a shady path, it's a bit cool. Going about. I hope Mick Taylor's not here today on a hunting trip. For them who've watched Wolf Creek. No, it's lovely, it really is. On the eastern viewing deck there, I was looking at, overlooking into the distance Mount Coolum, and to my right was the Maroochy River and Maroochy Door in the distance, and the plains, and there's a few hills, and oh my god, the houses, man, the properties there are just beautiful. Very, very, very expensive. Hello. Dog. Very, very expensive place. But could I live here? Well, if I had a few $1 million in the bank, yes I could. I could happily live here. It's beautiful, it really is. And they seem to, Australians, here anyway, they seem to be more relaxed. The people I'm mixing with at the minute, not the people I'm staying with, but the people I've met, you know, they've got their complaints. We've all got our gripes. Wherever you go in the world, we've all got our gripes about politics and stuff like that. But I don't know. I think Australia is a little bit less affected than what New Zealand's going through at the minute. And as you know, I talk a lot about New Zealand, put a lot into it. Cost me a lot as well, but you know, that's the way it goes. Comes with territory, unfortunately. But I'm stuck myself right now. I'm in a quandary. Do I go back to New Zealand, fight the good fight, or do I make an attempt to stay here in Australia and give up what I normally do and maybe have a complete change? Do YouTubing, but I don't know, maybe just have general conversations like I'm doing now, walking through the woods. Beautiful, isn't it? About, I don't know, benign stuff. You tell me. spoke to 3 mates this morning from New Zealand, from calls, and you know, they know I'm at crossroads in my life at the minute, and what do I do? What do I do? I know many would like me to come back. I know many would love me to stay the hell away. But anyway, just showing you a little bit of the bush here on Mount Ninderry. I'm not sure if it's pronunciation Ninderry or Ninderry. If I say Ninderry, you'll understand it better. So that's why I say Ninderry rather than Ninderry. Yeah, but it is. I love it, absolutely love it. Just a few more $1 million in the bank would be nice. Okay, this is what's the Rubicon. Please like, leave a comment, subscribe to my channel, share this video everywhere. Okay, see you later.